Hey and howdy everyone. Welcome back to my channel. It's Jeannie with Paper Pixie Ink, and today I am going to do a quick craft room tour with you. So my craft room is, I'm very lucky, it is a very large size. So it is about 14.5 by 15 feet. And I also have a walk-in closet that I will show you in a few minutes. So when you first walk in the door, I have my kind of computer station here. So this is where I do, my video editing and research and things like that. I do have a Mac. It's a 27-inch from, it's probably 5-6 years old. Probably due for a new one soon. Pretty much everything I have in here is from IKEA. So I have just a basic desk, and I attach my mic. I have a snowball to that, and it just kind of swings so I can use it as needed and then get it out of my way. So that is where I do that. I do keep a humidifier by my desk right here, and then this here is a light if I need it, because sometimes I do some work at my desk for crafting. And then beside my desk I have some of these tall Alex units. So you have 5 drawers that are shorter, and then you have 4 drawers at the bottom that are taller. And I'm not going to go into details about what I have in all of these drawers. I think I might do a few different videos on this. But I do keep, this is my Cameo. This is a Cameo 2, so it's getting on in years. It's had a lot of use, but I'm probably due for a new one soon. So that's my Cameo. And then this is the printer that I use. So I use it for lots of different purposes, not just crafting, but it is great for printing. So it's a Canon G7020. This is the kind of all-in-one, has everything. So it has a document feeder and flatbed scanner, and it does, duplexing, and its color. Obviously, it also has a fax machine. So I use it for everything, not just crafting. This is one of the units that have the large refillable ink wells. So it takes these little things, you actually dump the ink into the ink wells that you can kind of see here. This does not use a lot of ink at all. I print digital papers all the time, and it is truly great because the ink lasts for a very long time, and you do get some really good prints from it. I will link to my digital curio. I can't remember the name of the collection now. It's been a number of months, but it is the submission that I did for Rosa Kelly Scrapbooking's kind of album swap around Halloween last year. So I'll put a link to that in the description below, and on the video itself, it'll be in the top right corner, I believe. And you can see that it does print really well. It is a little expensive to buy, although if you get, I think they have a new model now. This one I've had for a little while, obviously. So I think they have a new model now, but you don't have to get the one that has the fax machine and everything. You can get a simpler model. And the outright cost of it is a little pricey, but because the ink lasts for so long, and like that little bottle of ink that I was showing you, that only cost me like 15 bucks. So it is really, really cheap to use once you have purchased it. So this is the walk-in closet. So this is kind of where I keep extra stuff that I have. Organizing products, because I'm constantly reorganizing my craft room. So this is where I keep a lot of the extra stuff, and then I have 4 more of the tall Alex units in here. A lot of these units contain like packaging materials and extra things that I have, things that I don't necessarily use very often. I have some tools and stuff. You can see I have tools up there as well. So this is just kind of my catch-all. So this is where I keep stuff. And then when you walk back out, I do have these 2 small bookshelves that I use to display some of the items that, or some of the albums that I have that I either haven't sold or given away yet, or what have you. So I keep those on there. Those 2 bookshelves are from, I bought them on Amazon, I think. I will, I'll see if I can link those. They were fairly inexpensive, and they're actually a lot more durable and solid than I would have expected them to be, but they go with the rest of my craft room fairly well, and they fit in that spot and give me a little bit of extra space. So on this wall beside those bookcases, I have some of the shorter, wider Alex units. And I store lots of different things in here, so we'll probably do another video on that in a little bit because I have way too much stuff. Sitting on top of them, I do have my 2 Stampin' Up hand crank die cut machines. So I have the large one and the small one. And then all of these ink pad holders are from Stampin' Storage, so they're various sizes. Obviously the distress ones are for distress inks. So that's these 2 right here. So I have those. I'm probably at some point going to have to get another one because, you know, the distress inks are expanding and we're getting new colors again. So I'm going to end up having to buy more at some point. And then the one beside that is my Stampin' Up ink pad storage. I do have the Stampin' Up plastic storage that Stampin' Up sells. I like it, but because I'm so clumsy, I tend to knock them over because they're each individual like pieces. So I prefer this, and as you can see, I have not gotten around to spray painting them white to match the rest of my stuff, but I will eventually. So those are the top 3, and then the bottom ones are actually 2 of the 120 slot ink pad holders, and these are just the, I want to say they call them slim. I'll link all of these for you as well. I always wait until they have sales on to purchase any of my stuff, but you will find that I have tons of the Stampin' Storage stuff in my craft room because I absolutely love it. They are beyond solid. They're handcrafted and they work so well because they're specifically designed for uses for us, for crafters. So I have all my Catherine Pooler inks, and then I have some, you know, random assorted ones. I have my favorite things, and I have my kind of hybrid scrapbook.com ones, and then I have some Hero Arts ones. I do have some random ones kind of scattered throughout. And then here I just have some random things as well. These are all my Stampin' Up alcohol ink markers. I love their blends. They have brush tip and fine tip, and they're The colors are perfectly matched to, obviously, to their inks, because that's what they're known for. But they work really, really well, and they have both a light and a dark color for all of their colors. I shouldn't say that. Some of their colors don't have the alcohol markers, but most of them do. I just like Stampin' Storage stuff because it is so incredibly solid. It does not come painted, but you can spray paint it any color that you want. I am going to do it in white because all of my other stuff is white. So when you, along the back wall, like when you first walk in, this is the wall that you kind of see in front of you. And here I just keep various storage items for lots of different things. So these are Besta units from IKEA, and I do have the doors to go on them, but they looked nice with the doors, less messy, but it was hard getting in and out of them, and they were always in my way, so I decided to take them all off. I will try to link to all of the items that I use for storage, but I will do like individual series on some of the storage that I use for various purposes. So as you can see, I also have some of the Stampin' Storage units for the punches. So I have the two that you see here are the lockdown punch holders. So I have two of those. And then down below those are my whale tail punch holders. And I know it looks kind of messy, but I use my punches all the time, and I like to have them close at hand. And then over here, I just have some other various storage, and down at the bottom, there's, that's my sewing machine. So I will, again, go deeper into detail on some of this stuff, but I wanted to give everybody an overview of my craft room. So on this wall, so this is the wall that is to your left as soon as you walk in the door, I have various calyx units, also from IKEA. So up top, I have an 8 cabi calyx unit, and then this is a 16, so it's like 4x4, and then this is another of the 2x4, the 8 units. I just have it standing up instead of this one, which is lying down. And then I have another one, so I create a tiered kind of effect here. And this one is a 2x2. So as you can see, I have more of the Stampin' Storage units for my paper. So these ones here are 6x6, so lots of space to store 6x6 paper. And then over here, you can see that I have two different kinds as well. So I have the 8x11 paper holders with the stand-up ones beside them. So that's one unit. I'll link to these as well. I love these. They're great. You can get them so that like it's a 12 stack with like wider slots or a 15 stack with thinner slots. I did the 15 because I have lots of color, but I don't necessarily have tons of each one. I don't ever, except for, my standard black, white, creams, that kind of thing. I don't keep a lot of, the same color. I just buy what I need when I need it. So those are those units. And then I have the 12x12 units. Again, you can get those in 12 slot or 15 slot, and I got the 15s because really I have a lot of like the paper pads. So I have like all my kind of like specialty papers over here, and then I have like, these are all like paper pads for the most part to the right. And those are all, most of them, not all of them, most of them are the 48 pads, and they fit perfectly in a 15 slot. So they're easy to get to, they're easy to organize, and I'm not constantly having to like restack, move things around to find the paper pad that I want to use. So, As you can see, I'm pretty full up. This is why I'm going to be doing some giveaways. So that is my paper. So over here, these are also from Stampin' Storage. I don't know that they sell these specific ones anymore. I've had them for a few years now. But what they are they're like card size. So they're perfect for storing 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 like card bases, or just paper that you cut to that size. I also store some envelopes in there as well. So these are all, for the most part, Stampin' Up! Cardstock, because I love their coordinated stuff. And then of course, this is a a shelving unit from Stampin' Storage, and it is perfect for storing Stampin' Up! Stamps. And I store my Stampin' Up! Stamps and dies together if it's a matching set, and that's why you can see some have little stickers on them, some have, you know, this obviously has a die set with it. So that's how I store those. And then the unit on the left is another individual 6x6 holder. So I store some more 6x6 papers in there. And then this is just a shelf. I have 2 of them. You can't really see the other one because it's behind everything else, but so then in the center, this is the last part of my craft room. This sits in the center of the room and is just a giant workstation. Really, it's just 2 long countertops from IKEA. I love these. They were relatively inexpensive. They're very, very durable. They're very heavy. So, you know, if you do this for yourself, make sure you have help. And I just held them up with these Alex drawers, also from IKEA. So you have 3 taller drawers and then 2 shorter drawers. And I have 6 of them. So I have 2 on this side and 1 over there, and then the other side is the same. So I just keep assorted different things. This side is mainly like storage for some of my larger cutters and like my extra, I buy baby wipes in bulk because I use so many of them. They're just so convenient to reach for. So I keep extras of those. This is also where I do my photography for some of the stuff that I post to like my social media sites and whatnot. So in some of these drawers, I keep different items that I use for like, I don't know, for like showcasing the items. So, and this board here is just a piece of foam board, and I covered it with some contact paper that I bought off Amazon for relatively inexpensive. These ring lights I also bought off Amazon. I will try and find them and link them for you. All right, so I really like them because they're nice and bright, and they have the 2 different colors. So they're like the daylight, which is like white, and then like the soft white. So, and I just have 2 of those. That with the flash from my camera, and I have a Nikon that I use, works really, really well for me. And then this is where I sometimes just put the items that I have been, you know, working on. And then this is my trimmer that I use. This one is basically used just for chipboard. So, and then when you come around, as you can see, this is a bunch of new collections that I picked up. So on this side, this is where I do like all my work. This is where I spend the vast majority of my time. I love it, and it is perfectly situated for me to grab all of the things that I use the most. So my punches and my dies and my stamps and embossing folders and all of my like embellishments and whatnot. So very, very handy. So again, I have 3 more of the Alex units, and these contain things that I actually use while crafting. So my trimmer for when I do paper trimming, this is an organizer from scrapbook.com. Really, it's just like very thick, like mat board almost, covered in like a white glossy paper. I have a few of these. Some of them are kind of hidden, but they're very, very useful. And the sizes are like perfect. As you can see, I have some of my cutting plates and boards here for my various die cutting machines. Here's some more for smaller die cutting machines. I keep my mint tape here. I use my mint tape all the time. These are little embossing bags, which I use a lot. This is some post-it tape, so it works much the same as the mint tape. It's just not as convenient. It's much larger. These are easier to grab. These are some, I think they're candle holders from IKEA. Don't quote me on that. I think they're supposed to be candle holders, but they work perfectly for this. So I just have them kind of tiered here. And then we have some of the little drawer organizers from scrapbook.com. These again are just the, mat board type stuff covered in the white glossy paper, and I just use them for various purposes. This one's a little harder to open because I have this really heavy item on it. This is a little box that I made myself, but inside of it are all my crocodiles, which weigh quite a bit. So it's probably too much weight to be putting on it, but as you can see, it actually is holding it quite well. It's not really, can you tell? It's not really bowed at all, which is impressive. And then I have my ink blenders here. I love these. I have various ones. I have some from Stampin' Up. I have some from Hero Arts. But I also really like the domed ink blenders from scrapbook.com. So I have over here, this is my baby wipes container. I use this all the time. I have an Alexa, obviously, because I love listening to music or ebooks while I craft. And then, so here I keep some various, these are some extra, I buy my magnets that I use in bulk. So, because I go through so many of them. These are the ones that I used to buy until I discovered these ones, which I like a lot more. So, there's that. Here I keep some, various bling. This is just like kind of the cheapy stuff. I used to get it from Doris, but which was, yeah, they're no longer in business anymore. I think they were bought out by Michaels. As everybody knows, if you've watched any of my videos, you will know how much I like using the kind of distressed chiffon ribbons. So I keep a bunch of them in these drawers. I have more, but these are the ones I use probably the most. And then over here, I just keep other sort of things. So I have some of my paper snips and other like paper distressors and some small, these are acrylic blocks, but I use like this one I use for cutting my double-sided adhesive. And then I have other various tools in here, so other bone folders. I have like a craft knife, and I have like my flower maker things and whatnot. And then I have some double-sided adhesive. I have a drawer full of this stuff. These are the ones that I'm currently using. So I use those. This is, I think it was an Archon mount. Don't quote me on that, but I will try and link to it. It came with the cell phone holder and the iPad holder, which I usually have an iPad on here. But it's pretty sturdy and it works really, really well. This light, this is a ring light, an LED one that I bought off of Amazon. So I will try and find these products and link to them for you. And then this is my workstation. So I have I keep a garbage down here. Lots of space here, my mixed media mat there. And I do all my crafting right here. And then this is my, so this is my Sizzix switch. It's the newest one. This is one that is exclusive to scrapbook.com. I don't think they have them in stock, but I will link to that for you as well. I love it. And I love that I can use some of my like smaller cutting plates and mats and whatnot on this machine as well. It's awesome. And then here is my brother Scan and Cut. This model is a year and a half, 2 years old now, I think, probably. It still works really, really well. But I use this for lots and lots of different things. They have design software. You can make your own designs. And I love it because I can scan like a die cut from, say, Graphic 45. I can enlarge it by a small degree and then cut a piece of like black cardstock to mat it on. So it looks framed. It looks really, really nice. It fits perfectly. And yeah, I just love it. So I will go over some of my, other organizing items that I use. I know this was really, really quick, but I will go over some of the other things that I use so that you can kind of, see. I have like these are all like little bits of papers of cardstock that I use, especially when I'm doing things like card making. So I keep them organized this way. It's super, super easy, and I can reach for them. They're sitting right beside me. This is pre-cut card bases and whatnot. So I will do a series on those hopefully soon. But as it stands right now, it looks like we are moving to Summerville a lot sooner than expected. So this will probably be my last video for a while, and I'm gonna say goodbye to this craft room, and I'm not really sure what I'm gonna have after that. So I will do my best to link to all of the supplies that you see in here, including like these are all from Stampin Storage. So I love their magnet sheets. So I use this size, the large size, which works really, really great for these. And then I also use this size, which works really well for pretty much everything else. So I will do my best to share all of that with you, and I will see you all hopefully in maybe a month or so.